Hey, I am Action Jacqueline and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are doing a hamstring yoga flow. It's going to feel really, really good. We're going to loosen up those legs. And if this is your first time here on my channel, welcome. I will help you take action and make you feel amazing in your own body, skin, and mind. And if you are back and you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, go ahead and do that right now. It helps me out so much. All right, get out your mat and let's get flowing. Let's start right here on all fours. We're going to do a cat-cow into down dog, making it active. All right, so push the hands into the floor. Come on up into your cow position, shoulders draw down the back. Exhale, push the floor away into a cat position. Keep this feeling of push. Come up high onto the balls of the toes. Press back into downward dog. Good job. Come on up high onto the toes. Lower back down onto all fours. Roll the spine into a cow position. So shoulders draw down the back. Lower belly still stays in. Good. Push the floor away. Cat. Make your Halloween cat position. Push into the first finger and thumb. You're up on the balls of the toes. Then push the floor away from you as the knees lift. Back to down dog. One more time. Come up high onto the toes. Lower down onto the knees. Good. Lift the tailbone, lift the heart, lift the head. Push the floor away. Round the upper spine. Stretch the sides of the body. Tuck the toes under. Push the floor away so much that the knees begin to lift. You all the way back into downward dog. Good job. Hold here for a few breaths. Breathing in through the nose. Breathing out through the nose. Try to get all the fidgeting out. Settle into one place. Lengthen the sides of the body. Push into the first finger and thumb. Externally rotate the shoulders broad and across the back. Soften around the neck and the shoulders. Good. We're going to lift one leg up. So try not to immediately just let the hips open. Try to keep the hips square. Push the hands into the floor. Support the body. Make sure that the shoulders stay square. Good. And then pull the right knee in towards the chest. Place the foot in between the hands. Lower the back knee down. Good. Stay here for a few breaths as we lift the chest up nice and high. Good. Step forward onto the mat. So bring the feet together, lower the head down. Inhale, lift up. Crown of the head reaches forward. You can bend the knees here if you need to, or you can use blocks here as well. Lower the crown of the head down. Root to rise. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Palms touch. Exhale, fold forward. We're going to send the left foot back as we lower down into our low lunge. Lift the chest up high as you root the feet into the floor. Shoulders draw down the back. Nice. Place the hands down. Bring the feet together in the back of the mat. You can always lower the knees down here if you need to. Actually, let's all lower the knees down for the first one. Bring the chest forward as the elbows squeeze in towards the body. Lower all the way down. Bhujangasana, which is just a nice long word for baby cobra. Lift the chest up. Squeeze the elbows in. Good, and then press all the way back to downward dog. Make sure that you don't have too narrow of a stance for your downward dog. You should feel like you have to support yourself, meaning that the arms have to work to balance you. So I always see people normally tend to just shorten up their down dog. Maybe try to go out a little bit further than you're used to, just to see what happens. Good, let's lift the left leg up. Ground the hands into the floor even more. Spiral the triceps back, biceps forward. Hug the forearms in towards each other. Lengthen out through the body. So I want you to really kick through that heel. And then thread the knee in towards the chest. Step it in between the hands without altering the hands. And then lower the back knee down. Lift the chest up. Shoulders draw down the back. Breathe. Enjoy the stretch. Enjoy any sensations that come up. Don't try to fight it. Just breathe with it. Good. Place the hands on the ground. Tuck the toe underneath you. Step it forward all the way to the front of the mat. Release the head forward. And now let's reach the crown of the head. Long. Feel how this changes where it stretches in the body. Lower down. Try to keep your weight in your toes and the balls of your feet. So as opposed to in the back of your heels like this and lifting up from here, see if you can shift your weight forward so you're on the balls of the toes. So it's more evenly across all four corners of your feet. Good. Lift the crown up of the head here. Notice where your weight is. Are you forward or are you back? See if you can get a little bit more even on the feet. Lower down, especially as you lower down here, try not to hang back behind your heels. Get the hips right over the heels. Good. And as you reach forward, I want you to think about squeezing the outer hips in towards one another. Keep the weight over the toes. Reach forward. See how that changes the hamstrings, the work of the hamstrings and the stretch of the hamstrings. So to create flexibility in our legs, we also want to work them. So it becomes an eccentric movement where they're both working and stretching at the same time. So try that again. As you inhale, reach up. I want you to squeeze the outer hips in. Exhale, see if you can dive forward so the weight comes onto the balls of the toes. So shift forward, forward, forward. My hamstrings are working as they're stretching down. Lower all the way down. Good job. Inhale, lift it up. Reach the crown of the head forward. Stay on the balls of the toes. And lower back down. Nice job. Let's step the right foot back. Come into your low lunge. Come up onto the fingertips, or maybe you need blocks here, but I want you to root the heel into the ground. Feel like you're pulling your foot back. So it's not going to actually move, but I want you to see that so you can get that action going inside of your body. So the heel is pressing down and back. And this is going to cause a little bit of a scissoring action. The hamstrings are going to work as they stretch. Good. Place the hands down on the ground. Tuck the back toe under. Bring it back. Come high into your high plank. Squeeze the legs together. Push the floor away from you. Hold. Breathe. Good. Shift the shoulders forward. Lower down into your chaturanga. Come up high onto the tippy toe, so onto the arches of the feet. Push the floor away from you. Pull the lower abs in. Thighs are engaged and lifted. And press it back, downward dog. Let's do that a few more times. Thinking about where our weight is in our legs and how we can engage our hamstrings as we stretch them. All right. That's a lot of info, so we'll repeat it again. So lift that right leg up. Hold it here. Now this is an intense stretch right away. I feel this on the bottom of my foot. I feel this all along my left leg. Now my hands are working, my arms are working. Good. You might even feel this up stretching into the low spine. All good things, but it is work. Inhale, exhale. I want you to slowly thread that foot in between. Place the foot in between the hands. Lower the back knee down. Good. Breathe. Draw that right foot into the floor. Remember this dragging back action, right? But it doesn't actually go back. It draws down and back so that instead of splaying the legs out this way, you begin to square the hips off. So the right thigh draws back and down. Pull the lower spine in. Good. Bring the hands to the floor. Step the feet together. Nice and slow. You don't have to move fast there. So make sure that, again, right here before you even start, your weight is evenly distributed on all four corners of your feet. Good. Let's lift the crown of the head up. Keep your weight forward and slightly hug the outer hips in. Lower the head down. Right here, notice where your weight is on your feet. They should be a little bit more forward on the balls of the toes, or it's going to feel forward, I should say. It's going to feel like you're more forward, but then it actually is an even weight distribution on all four corners. Squeeze the outer hips in as you lengthen the crown of the head forward. You should feel the hamstrings fire up, the outer glutes fire up as you reach up. And then bring hands to heart center. Good, let's do that again. Inhale, reach the arms up. Palms touch. Exhale, I want you to squeeze the outer glutes right here. So outer hips, outer glutes right here as you fold forward. Bring the weight forward. The chest goes forward. The hips should stay right over the heels. Your little toes are going to work like crazy to balance you. Lower down. Inhale, lift up. Remember, weight stays forward. I have to remind myself too, because I like to kind of hang back there too. Good, lower down. And then step that right foot back. Come into your low lunge again. This time we're going to scoot it back. So bring those hips back and we're going to stretch our hamstrings this way. Pull the toes back towards you. If you need blocks, and you feel like you can't reach the floor comfortably, then I want you to put blocks right here. So then you would just put your weight here on the blocks. If you want a little bit more, then you can go ahead and intensify by pulling the toes back. Hold it here. Good. Now we're going to take this one step further, and I want you to place your left hand onto the outside of your right foot. Maybe this is enough for you right here to just hold this position. If you want a little bit more, then you can reach your right arm up and twist. You could still do this on the block, so if you're using the block, place the hand on the block and then lift up from there. Ground the left hand into the floor so that you can reach the right arm further up. This takes a lot of balance. You can see me kind of wavering back and forth. So turn the core on. Twist from the navel up so that the hips stay square. A couple more breaths. Bring the hands down. You're always more than welcome to pause the video and hold the stretch for longer. Good. Step the foot back. And you can either do your chaturanga on your knees or come up onto your toes, lower down, up dog, and press it back. Nice. Right away. Lift the left leg up. Just surrender to the stretch that's happening in the right leg. It's intense. I want you to breathe through it. Support yourself with your hands and with your breath. Good. Thread the knee in towards the chest. Place it in between your hands without picking up the hands. Lower the back knee down. And let's come into our low lunge. Remember to anchor the left heel into the floor so that the inner thighs can come towards each other. Support the pose with the lower belly squeezing in. Good, and then lean the chest forward, tuck the back toes under, step forward, forward fold. Remember where our weight is. Our weight should be a little bit, it's going to feel like it's more forward so that the hips come over the heels. Good, inhale, lift it up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, squeeze the outer hips in. Turn on the hamstrings, reach the forehead forward, squeeze, keep squeezing those outer hips, lift up and bring the hands together. Good, so those outer hips are squeezing in right here. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, feel the weight coming over the toes, so really shift the body forward more than you feel is comfortable. Reach forward, reach forward, reach forward. Nice job. And lift on up. Those little toes should be working like crazy. Keep the weight forward as you reach the crown forward. And then step the left foot back. And then we're going to come into our half splits. Good. And then we're going to pull the toes back. You can stay right here or you can grab onto the toes and add a little extra pull here. I want you to work on lengthening the spine here. So try not to, if you're rounding here, then I would probably just release the foot and work on straightening the spine instead. So think about lengthening from your tailbone all the way to the top of the head. Draw the shoulders down the back. Pull the navel in towards your spine. And then let's take our twist. We're going to place the right hand down. Use your blocks if you need them. Press into the floor so that you can twist and look up. This is a challenging one. It's not only very deep in the stretch, but then we have to work on anchoring down our heel and our hand so we can twist and look up. The navel still supports by pulling in. Lengthen the spine. Soften the shoulders. So many things to think about, I know. One more big deep breath in. Exhale, come down, you did it, good job. Step it back, reach it forward. Take your chaturanga on your knees. Or if you're not feeling the vinyasa, you could always just meet me back down in downward dog. Good, let's step the right foot forward. So we're going to just step it right up. We're going to come into our pyramid pose, our Parsvottanasana. So reach the crown of the head forward. To lengthen the spine up first, draw the right hip back. Good, so I want you to actually take your thumb and put it on your right hip. So actually I'm going to turn around so you can see. So you're going to put your right hand on your hip and anchor it back so it doesn't start to sway forward. So keep it back right here. Now, we're going to lift the crown of the head up. Keep that anchoring feeling here. Reach the arms back, lengthen long. The hamstrings should fire up. So remember, we're turning on the hamstrings and stretching them at the same time. Holding it here. If you're like me and you like to hyperextend, make sure that you give a slight bend in the legs so that the quad and the hamstring both turn on. Good. Lower down. So just like we did in our half splits, we're going to take a nice twist here. You could always use the blocks if you need them. So place a block here and then you can reach and look up. Same thing though, I want you to anchor the hip back. So if you need to keep your hand there, then just keep it there to make sure that it stays back. Or you can reach the hand up when you're ready. But sometimes it's nice to just keep that, have that kinetic connection, brain to muscle, if you need it. Really push the floor away from you so you can expand across the chest. Good. Place that hand down. Step that foot back. Reach forward into your high plank. Lift the belly up high. Reach the shoulders forward. Lower down into your chaturanga. Elbow squeeze. Come high up onto the tops of the feet. Arms are straight. Legs are straight. Belly is lifted. Downward dog. Good job. Right away, left side. Turn the back toes out. So my toes are at a 45-degree angle. And you don't want too wide of a stance here. Feet also have a split stance. So if you had a line down here in the middle, your feet would be on either side of that line, as opposed to being like on a tightrope. That's probably not going to be very comfortable or balancing. So split that line in the middle. Good. And then pull that left hip back. Draw that thumb in. And then reach the crown of the head forward. Feel the leg working as you reach forward. If this is too much for you, then I just suggest that you keep the hands down here and you work on lengthening the spine forward. Okay? So just know that with really every yoga class, there's something available for you. There's something if you're feeling tired. There's something if you're feeling super energized. So just tap into what you need that day and do what you need to do. Don't ever feel like, oh, I can't do this, or this is not for me. Just make it work for you somehow. Good, and then if you're ready and you want a little more, add that twist on, but remember to keep that left hip back. It's going to want to shift forward, so try to shift it back. Use a block if you use it on the other side. Really anchor the feet down into the floor as you twist and look up. One more breath. Inhale, expand. Exhale, bring that hand down. Last vinyasa right here. Shift forward into your high plank. Good. Lower down into your chaturanga. Up into your up dog. Back into your downward dog. Noticing for just a moment how your down dog feels now at the end of the class. Hopefully it feels more comfortable. Feels like you're more open, more turned on, more engaged, more connected. Good. Come up high onto the balls of the toes, lower down onto those knees. And let's sit back onto our heels, reach the legs out. Shake them out. They did a lot of work. All right, reach the arms up and we're gonna reach it and extend it forward into our nice forward fold. Go to wherever you want to go. So wherever you're at is totally fine. I want you to just breathe into the stretch. Imagining your breath as this magical stream of newness, that it can go through the body, these tight areas, break it up, give it new life, and give it some new light. And just toying with the idea that maybe these areas in your body that are always tight, that you say, oh, I'm not flexible, or I don't have this, I can't do that. Maybe just for a moment, visualize that muscle, that tight area that you always say is tight. Just for a second, just imagine it loosening up and opening up into a flexible muscle. Just imagine it for a few seconds. Imagine how free it feels. Imagine your breath coming into it, kind of clearing out the cobwebs, that darkness. giving it space. Sometimes our brains just decide, we just make a decision that, okay, this muscle is tight and that's just how it is. But maybe it doesn't have to be that way forever. Good. Come on up. Come into a nice seated position. Close the eyes. Bring the hands onto your knees. Bring your first finger and thumb together. Breathe. Notice the sensations that are going through the body. Maybe new blood flow. Maybe continue that visualization that you had of that once tight muscle now being flexible. Just toy with it, and maybe one day it will be flexible. Our bodies change every single day. So what was true today might not be true tomorrow. So once was a tight muscle might not be a tight muscle tomorrow. Seal that all in with a nice big inhale in. Exhale it out. Bring the hands together. Bow your head towards your heart as a symbol of gratitude, self-love, and compassion. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste. I'm Action Jacqueline, and I hope you loved that. If you did, please like the video, subscribe to my channel. Make sure you head over to my website. I have so many great workouts and PDF guides for you to download and keep totally for free. So click the link here. There's a little I here. Head over to my website, explore all the things that I have for you. Thank you so much, and have a beautiful day.